Hi all. In our previous videos, if you observe about the mundane astrology predictions, we predicted global financial crisis, right? So that's what you can clearly see in the world these days. So many people are suffering due to the financial issues, right? So you can clearly observe that, and the reason for this financial crisis was that December uh, December 2020. I think it was in December 14th, right? December 14th, we have the Saturn Jupiter close conjunction. Saturn is at 7 degree and Jupiter is at 6 degree. It's not that. Let me check the December 21st. December 21st, I think. Yes. So that December 21st, 2020, right, the close conjunction of Jupiter Saturn happened, and we know we discussed that this is happening after around 400 years. 400 years back, the same thing happened, and now it happened again in 21st December 2020, and because of this close conjunction, we predicted global financial crisis, right? And it happened, of course. So what is it actually? So the Saturn Jupiter conjunction, what it is representing here, and not only it's not just a Saturn Jupiter conjunction, Jupiter debilitation in Capricorn, right? So Jupiter in mundane astrology is the representation of finance of a country, is the growth of a country, expansion, and all the auspiciousness of a country. How progressive the country is, you can understand based on the Jupiter's position, the amount of rays Jupiter is emanating onto the earth, right? If the rays emanated by Jupiter are very strong and very good, then you can understand the country is going to have some expansion, some growth, some financial growth, and every all-round development you can clearly observe. But when Jupiter is in Capricorn, it is in debilitation in the sense Jupiter's rays do not fall onto the earth much, right? Very a few rays of Jupiter would come onto the earth. So there is no scope of growth at all. There is no scope of development at all, right? That kind of rays, and that too, it was in conjunction with Saturn, right? So if you observe, Jupiter is the representation of the financial backbone of a government, basically, right? So we discussed, when Jupiter was in close conjunction with Saturn, there is a concept called Nicha Bhanga Raja Yoga. Nicha Bhanga. There's a concept called, means it's the cancellation of debilitation. Why there's a cancellation of debilitation? Because the government that has lost its backbone of finance would try to capture all the money from the lower GDP people, from the normal public. Means the government is going to take the money from the normal public in order to sustain, in order to have some stability, in order to have some future, right? That's what government does, right? That is the Nicha Bhanga here. How it happened? The Jupiter, the debilitated Jupiter, tried to extract some energy from the stable Saturn. Saturn represents the lower GDP people. It's the normal public representation here, right? In the Capricorn and the earth sign, the practical world, the complete practical world, you can clearly understand Jupiter Saturn was closely in conjunction that time. Means Jupiter was initially debilitated. Even before 21st December, you could observe Jupiter was in debilitation, right? But on 21st December, Jupiter came very much closer to Saturn, almost 0 degrees, means a complete you know, they were completely united. If you observe with respect to Earth, they appear, the difference between the degrees is 0. So Jupiter was trying to get the energy from Saturn, and of course you can clearly observe, see, this kind of events, the rare events like eclipses, right, and also the 6 planet conjunction or 7 planet conjunction, this kind of events, the specific events, the special events, they have the power till 6 to 7 months. They show their power till 6 to 7 months. And after December 21st, you can clearly observe as Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, this is July, and in July also you can clearly observe the impact of this particular event, right? So clearly the debilitated Jupiter means the government that has lost the backbone of finance, right, that is the debilitated Jupiter, would try to get the energy from Saturn, from the stable Saturn, from the very strong Saturn. Saturn is very strong here because it is in its own sign, Capricorn, right? So the government that has lost the backbone of finance would try to get its strength and energy from the normal public, right? That's what happened here very clearly. It's very evident. So there is a school of thought that in astrology, so many astrologers have different opinions, different ideas, different thoughts, right? They have different notions, you can say. So in one school of thought, they say Nicha Bhanga Raja Yoga is a Nicha Bhanga. The debilitation of cancellation is a failed concept. It's a myth. People, means some astrologers say, but clearly you can see it's not a myth. It's not a myth because clearly it happened, right? Clearly it happened. So whenever a planet is in debilitation, and if any other planet having a very good strength is very much nearby that particular debilitated planet, it will try to get the energy from that strong planet, right, in order to have the sustenance, in order to have some stability, in order to have some future, in order to get the energy for its existence, right? It will try to extract the energy from a very strengthened planet. So that's what Jupiter did that time. Clearly it did, right? And that's what you can see, the impact you can see now, right? So clearly the debilitation, the cancellation of debilitation is a valid concept, and that too you can just understand it's happening between Jupiter and Saturn, the intelligent Jupiter, the Jupiter having good strength, right? Means, sorry, here Jupiter does not have any strength, but Jupiter generally, if you understand the idea of Jupiter itself is very, it's very, it's a great planet, you can understand. It's the largest planet in the solar system, right? And it is a planet called as a savior planet, right? It saved Earth so many times whenever the asteroids used to come and hit, and before they hit Earth, right? Because of the highest magnetic field, or whatever, the gravitational field you say, right? Whatever the force may be, because of that particular field Jupiter had, it stopped all the asteroids and it saved Earth so many times, right? So because of Jupiter only we are able to survive on Earth, right? That is the fact, right? Anyways, so I'm telling, a planet like Jupiter can absorb energy from a planet like Saturn, because Jupiter is a very noble planet and an intelligent planet, you can say. And that kind of planet, yes, can absorb the energy from Saturn. And that too, you observe, you take sun at the center, and from sun, if you try to see the planets in our solar system, in the center sun, after that you see Mercury and then Venus, and then you can see Earth, and of course moon is a natural satellite to Earth, and after that you can observe Mars, the presence of Mars, and after that you can see Jupiter and then Saturn. So Jupiter and Saturn are the outer planets with respect to sun, even with respect to Earth, of course, right? So Jupiter and Saturn are outer planets, and when they are revolving around sun, even they revolve in the orbits that are adjacent to each other, right? Somewhat, right? You can say. So this kind of thing, you can clearly understand that the cancellation of debilitation is a valid concept here. And now let's try to understand another thing. What's happening currently in the month of July? Let me put it as something like 5th July. 5th July. So let's take 5th July. And what is the current condition? Saturn is in retrograde in Shravana. It's a very bad thing for all the politicians, especially the bad politicians. You may see a death of so many bad politicians in coming future, of course, till February 2022, right? Till February 2022, Saturn would be retrograding this way in Shravana Nakshatra, right? And because of this, mainly the bad politicians that are not following any kind of dharma, they are going to be severely dead. Even at least their family members should request the bad politicians to stop earning money by doing some bad deeds. At least now they have to donate all their money to the poor people, right? It is the only remedy for them. If not, you can see the bad politicians are dying very severely. The death is something, it's a kind of unimaginable death. That kind of death they may experience because Saturn is retrograding. It is very, very powerful, and that too it is retrograding in Shravana Nakshatra, right? This particular Saturn retrogradation in Shravana is always a bad thing for bad politicians. The bad politicians are going to suffer a lot. And the only remedy for them is to donate all their money to the poor people. To do selfless work. Donating money is nothing but doing selfless work for the poor people. It's the only remedy. Otherwise, Saturn is going to be very severe, right, for them. At least their family members should do some selfless work, should act selflessly. Otherwise, if their family members, means the bad politicians' family members, are encouraging these bad politicians, right? So they are also going to suffer a lot. And it's a kind of it's a very severe thing, of course. In one sentence we can say that. Now I want to tell, the Saturn retrograde is happening in Shravana and Jupiter retrograde is happening in Shatabhisha, right? And now let me just check this particular thing, October. This October 5th. So till October 5th, let me make it October 8th also, it is still, yeah. So you can clearly understand October 4th. October 4th is going to be the last date Jupiter stays in Aquarius, right? So after this, as it is retrograding, means moving backward, it's of course it's not moving backward really, But with respect to Earth, it appears to be moving backwards because Jupiter's motion is slowed down, right? Now, you can see from 5th October onwards, Jupiter is coming to Capricorn. Now Jupiter is debilitated, it is going to be debilitated, right? Of course, at a particular degree it is going to be more debilitated, but of course in Capricorn, Jupiter, whenever Jupiter is in Capricorn, it cannot emanate much of its rays onto the Earth. So the moment Jupiter is in Capricorn world, it cannot emanate much of its rays. So it is showing, means whatever is going to happen from October onwards, it is going to have some impact, right? So from October to, let me make it November. From October 5th to 31st October, say it is October 30. October 5th to October 30, it is going to be in Capricorn only. Means that is indicating another global financial crisis that is going to be from 30th October. You can count the next 5 to 6 months, means November, December, Jan 2022, Feb 2022, March 2022, April 2022. So till April 2022, you can expect some kind of global financial crisis again, right? And I want to tell, at least in the previous global financial crisis, Jupiter was able to absorb the energy from Saturn because of its closeness, because of its close conjunction with Saturn. It was able to absorb some energy from Saturn. Means the government, not having the financial backbone, was able to absorb some money from the poor people, from the middle class families, from whatever the general public. They were able to absorb some money. That was happened. See, that's already happened this July, August, till that point of time. You can see this is happening. And but what's happening from 5th October onwards, if you clearly understand that, so 5th October, it's going to be, this Jupiter is going to be in Capricorn. Means it is now again it is going to emanate less amount of rays. And 7th, 9th, right? So you just 13th, now let me make it 18th. So till 16 it is going to be in retrograde state, 17 also, and from 18 onwards Jupiter is now moving forward, right? Now moving forward. It is only at 29 Capricorn, means it is not going to be much debilitated, you can say. So the global financial crisis may not be that much stronger this time, right? And Saturn is having at a distance of 14 degree, right? Jupiter is 29, so there is a distance of 15 degree between Jupiter and Saturn. And Jupiter is also not going to be much debilitated this time, right? It is just going to have some kind of just going to have a very minimal impact. So the financial crisis that may come from in the months of November, December, Jan 2022, and Feb, March, April, till April 2022, the financial crisis that's going to come may not be this much bad. And the impact of that financial crisis is also very important because at that time, even government will not be able to get any kind of energy from Saturn. Maybe the debilitation will be very less amount, but whatever debilitation it is going to have, it cannot cancel the debilitation this time, because Saturn is going to be very means it is at a very huge distance, you can say it's 15 degree 15, right? So it cannot get any kind of help from the people in the next from that whatever duration we discussed, from November to that April 2022. It cannot get any kind of help from people, but there is a minimal financial crisis, right? At least this time, what they are able to do, what they are able to doing what they are doing here now, they are at least now getting some money from the people, right? In the month of July or June or August, whatever, there's a first global financial crisis, you can say, right? It's because of the 21st December 2020 that event, right? And the next financial crisis, it may not be a very big financial crisis, but at the same time, the governments all over the world may not be able to get any kind of help from the people. Almost they are going to get zero help from the people. But now, at least because of this 21st December 2020 that event, at least they are able to get some not some, a very good amount of help from the people. They are able to get a lot of taxes, a lot of money in terms of taxes. That is it. That's what I want to convey. Maybe I'm a bit repetitive, but I just want to convey what I am really feeling, right? So yeah, so this is what I can tell you people. And I also have a date of interest. I will share it in my next video. Thank you.